Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Peace, mercy, and blessings of God be upon you, and welcome back to Join the Mahdi. I'm your host, Ardijan and Mahdi.
And I'm Alexandra Al-Mahdi.
So, in the last episode, we talked about the latest video that Abba Sadiq from His Peace had published on the YouTube channel. A video that talked about the 9 questions that the believers had, and we had gone over some of them. And, it is important to know the fact that the Imams of the Ahlul Bayt alayhim salam, they are accompanied by knowledge, and it is encouraged by the believers to ask the Imam of the time questions that they do not know. And it is one of the ways of knowing if the Imam of the time is true or not. But he also comes with knowledge which may be surprising and maybe even disturbing for the people. Today, I was brought up on the Rise Up show earlier this morning, and we had a little discussion about something pertaining to our religion, our dawah, our call, and that is the symbol of this call, which everyone has seen, whether it was on the beanie of an Ansar or on the book of the Goal of the Wise, or in one of our banners, or even on the logo of our social media platforms, where people see a 6-pointed star, Alex. A 6-pointed star that people, when they see it, they think to themselves, what are they? Are they Jews? Are they Israelis? Are they agents of Israel? Like, what's going on here?
Yeah, because, the 6-pointed star, it has, it forms many associations in people's heads. And some people even mistake it for a pentagram, right, or something.
Weirdly, I don't understand how.
Yeah,
but
I don't know how. But, the reality is this star is the Star of David. So, if we believe in Prophet David, Prophet Dawud in Islam, then we have to accept that this is his symbol,
Exactly.
There are many reasons why this symbol is the symbol of the 7th covenant, the 7th and final covenant that we're in right now. And these reasons are explained in the Goal of the Wise, so the shape of the star is basically the shape of the universe that this world that we're living in is inside of. And the 7th covenant, it's a universal covenant. It's for every single person. And there's also another quote from the Goal of the Wise, basically, which explains the Star of David, or the 6-pointed star. It's part of the inheritance of the prophets and messengers, right? So Imam Ahmad al-Hassan and Imam Aba Al-Sadiq, from them his peace, they are the inheritors of the prophets and messengers, right? They are the ones who have inherited this religion from them, this dawah, and they are the ones who will fulfill that mission that all of the prophets and messengers were unable to fulfill. This has caused the scholars to attack us, basically, and they attacked Ahmad al-Hassan, from him his peace, and spread rumors that he was an Israeli agent sent to destroy Islam. And Ahmad al-Hassan, from him his peace, he taught that the star, it actually has the same meaning as God is great in the Iraqi flag, right? So anyone who disrespects the star is actually disrespecting the name of God, which is, a really interesting piece of information there. Anyone who's questioning and was a bit, shocked initially when they found out about when they saw the logo that we're using on all of our social media, and for the religion, we'd ask you just to look into it a bit more. I think we have a caller on the line. Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Mohammed again from Trinidad.
Hey, brother. Assalamu alaikum. How's everything?
Things are nice. Things are going nice every day now. I like the topic, so I wanted to find out if Israel, in terms of the way they pronounce it, has any connection at all to Israel, the angel, like how they would say Israel or Azrael, and then that's Israel.
Yes,
if there's any sort of...
Yes, as of right now, Abba Sadiq, from him his peace, has not pointed out any relationship between the angel of death known as Azrael and the angelic name Israel. So Israel and Azrael are 2 different names and attributes.
But the names of the angels, they all sound similar, and Aba Al-Sadiq, from him speaks, has explained this similarity, just like parents might give their children like similar sounding names like Hassan and Hussein.
Yeah.
Israel, it means like basically, so the il at the end, it means like of God, right?
Yeah, of God.
So it's like an angel could be called like the might of God, or like, you know, all of these different attributes of God. But the reason that the similarities are there in the sound is just because, you know, they're all from God, you know, they're all angels from God.
So like, for example, one of the things that happened on the planet Earth, right, was that, you know, Adam, when he had children, right, or the first two children that came from Eve, they were named in Arabic Qabil and Habil. So it was a rhyming sounding name. Same thing with Azazil and Azrael. They were siblings in the angelic world, and they had names that rhymed. But nonetheless, when it comes to the angel Azrael, it is not linked in any way, shape, or form as of right now to the name Israel. But what we do know about the name Israel is that the name Israel translates to what? It means the servant of God, or the one captured by God, or the slave of God. That is the definition of the name Israel. It is basically the Arabic equivalent and translation to Abdullah, which is, again, the slave or the servant of Allah or God. Brother, so I hope that answers your question. And if there's anything else
it's interesting. It's interesting because it seems these words have like such profound meanings, and it's almost like secrets, you know. It's so
yes, I mean,
it's like you have to just wait.
Names carry many secrets, and the roles of the angels carry many different roles, which and if you want to learn the roles of the angels and what they are all about, we have a chapter in the Goal of the Wise pertaining to the angelic forces, as well as videos talking about angels coming as messengers. There's a video called God, Angels, the Jinn, and aliens, extraterrestrials. You can look into that. Right now, brother, also the topic of today, the person who brings back the Star of David, you know, and I'm actually glad that you mentioned Israel, is that the Star of David actually is very closely associated with the country that the people call Israel today. And we're here right now to basically draw the line that, the Star of David is the inheritance of the prophets and messengers, namely, especially for its namesake, you know, the Star of David belongs to a prophet, you know, Prophet David, alayhi salam. And that basically the Mahdi comes back to bring back the relics and the symbols of the prophets and the messengers.
Yeah, it makes sense, you know. And I was thinking, I think that there's something that you may have said in the past, I'm not sure, something like that the Prophet Muhammad is also called Israel or something like that, right?
Yes.
That's
Prophet
one of his
Muhammad is
names.
indeed called Israel.
And so
Prophet
Ahlul Bayt
Jacob
are the true...
Sorry?
So it's almost like, I think something like this may have been said, like that the Ahlul Bayt would be the real man Israel, like they're the real children of Israel, which is Muhammad, like the family of Muhammad, you know.
Exactly.
Something like that.
Exactly, because the Ahlul Bayt, they said, they have a narration that says that sometimes when God refers to Bani Israel or the children of Israel in the Quran, it mentions three. Sometimes it's about the disbelievers, sometimes it's about the believers, and sometimes it's about the successors of Prophet Muhammad from his family, peace be upon him and his family.
Yes, it sounds interesting, you know, so the prophet is Israel, and then his children are Bani Israel. And they are the true custodians of that star. And like how you said, I think it's earlier today, they mentioned the star is like the shape of the universe, you know, and it's very, very...
Yes, and
that's amazing, you know.
And, there's a narration that says what? It says that the Mahdi, he comes back, or the Mahdi brings forward the Ring of Solomon. The Ring of Solomon is a ring that the Muslims are aware of that was able to grant Prophet Solomon, or, the ring had properties apparently that could cast away spirits or control jinn or many of these things. And the Seal of Solomon was, of course, the Star of David. They even called it the Seal of Solomon.
Yeah.
Right? And what's interesting then about the Seal of Solomon, right, is that the Mahdi alayhi salam inherits the Seal of Solomon, or the Ring of Solomon. He inherits the symbols of the prophets and the messengers. And the Star of David As you said, yes, it is a map of the universe, but not just the physical universe, but the non-physical realms as well. So the physical and non-physical realms, which now makes sense as to why it is that Solomon was able to control the jinns as well, because they are existing in a non-physical realm alongside with us. But anyway, brother, if there's any other questions that you have or anything that you would like to add on, you're more than free and welcome to.
No, that's cool for now, because I'm taking my time and going slowly.
Thank
Going
you
good
so
so
much for
far.
coming up. And
Welcome.
God bless you.
Same to you, brother. You take care. Bye.
Bye-bye. Assalamu alaikum. And yeah, I mean, the star, it's been closely associated. I mean, we already went over some amazing points, but the Star of David is, and I believe that you read it out, it is known as the Yamani star. It is known as the star of the person who brings it forward. Ahmad al-Hassan and Aba Al-Sadiq for sure, yes. And also it is a star that, is basically a hexagram, right? Or basically it's six-sided, it's six-pointed. And, I also discussed how the Ahlul Bayt alayhim salam, they are the inheritors of the prophets and messengers. And the Ahlul Bayt said concerning their ancestor Amir al-Mu'mineen, their grandfather Amir al-Mu'mineen Ali ibn Abi Talib, they would say about him that he is the planet Saturn. And at the very top of Saturn, in its north pole, you will see a hexagram-like shape at the very, very top.
Which is so interesting.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's extremely interesting. And there's another name that the Star of David also has, and it is called the Cube of Metatron. Anybody who looks up the Cube of Metatron, they will see that it's a hexagram shape, but within that hexagram shape is embedded within it the Star of David. And who is Metatron? For anybody who does not know, Metatron is the angelic name for the prophet of God known as Enoch or Idris for the Arabs. So, I mean, we already see a connection there that the prophets and messengers from the very beginning, since the very beginning of humanity, up until now, have had this star. And but unfortunately, although this is out there and it is supposed to be really common knowledge that you can just get from even just Googling it, you don't even need to go and read the many books that talk about it. People see it as an evil symbol.
Yeah, and I mean, I think this is just the way that, people have been, we could go even deeper into this topic and talk about, because, the way that we've been led to believe in things has been very twisted. Okay, the meaning of things has been very twisted. And this is because, we have been, as humanity, we've been misguided by Satan. One example of that is the number 666, and that was a really big revelation from the Goal of the Wise, what this number, really means, right? Because this is all of these things are examples of how the devil, Iblis, has taken, very holy things and twisted them to make humanity scared of them and fearful when they see them. And this is, one of his many weapons that he uses in order to misguide people away from the vicegerent of God, to make them think that they're associated with something dark or something evil, when in, reality it's the opposite. And then he convinces them to follow something which is dark and something evil by making it appear holy to them. And, this is another reason why we can't trust our perceptions, basically, of these things. We can't trust, our cultural biases, because they're always, influenced by Iblis, basically.
Yeah, no, for sure they're influenced by Iblis. I mean, for a long time, people sometimes look at Islam and for them it's associated with terror, it's associated with mayhem and chaos, when in actuality the true Islam of Prophet Muhammad is not like that at all.
Yeah, exactly.
So we see that Satan and his minions love twisting the ideas and symbols and words in order to push people away from the truth. And think about it. Imagine somebody saying that a star that is drawn is evil. It's just a star. It's a six-pointed star. There's nothing evil about it. And something that you said earlier that, I kind of chuckled a little bit, because, it is true. It's strange how the people who are opposing us are saying that it's a pentagram, right? Something that Hollywood uses to like show that someone's worshiping Satan and all these things. But like you said earlier, a pentagram is six.
It's five, yeah, very clearly it's five, yeah.
It's five-pointed. It's
people get very easily confused and then suddenly like rush off into this like anxiety mode of. But
like, I don't see how you can get confused. I mean, I think it's simple mathematics where. With your eyes, you're able to see and count for yourself. If you have gone to kindergarten and first grade, you would be able to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, there's another one, 6.
But the people who try and slander this call and slander the true religion of God, they are the minions of Iblis basically. So they are doing his bidding basically, which is to make something holy appear evil. This is exactly what they want because they are the children of Iblis. This is and the children of Iblis will always fight the prophets and messengers just the way that they fought Jesus. So this is something that is really to be expected, and this is why it is so important for us to search for our religion and investigate and do what Muhammad and Ahmad al-Hassan and all of the prophets and messengers told us to, because otherwise we're going to get misled so easily by these minions of Iblis.
Yeah, no, they have misled humanity extremely much so. But I kind of like to reflect back on like the past episodes that we had talked about, which is humanity, yes, they have been misled, but they're misled because of what they see in the apparent. They judge the cover, they judge something because it is associated with something. However, if they actually take that cover and open up the first page, they'll see that which they understood is not really the case. And I mean that very much so with the symbol of the 6-pointed star. And actually, I'm not sure if the people have realized this or know this, but it's not just a symbol that we took upon and have said that it is a true symbol from the prophets and messengers, but this is a symbol that Muslims themselves have. This geometric shape is found in many mosques. They are found in many, many places. They're even found in the coins of the so-called caliphs that used to rule over the Muslims, and it became extremely popular during the time of the Ottomans. Now, I believe that we have a caller, so before we continue that, we'll take up the caller and then we'll continue our talk. Brother Nate, I believe. Assalamu alaikum.
Lee.
Oh, Lee. Brother Lee. Assalamu alaikum.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, brother, we can hear you.
Lee,
how are you?
Yeah, I'm not too bad. How are you two?
Good, thank you.
We're doing great.
So how can we help?
Yeah, I was just reading The Goal of the Wise, and I just got confused. I was just wondering if you could clear it up for me.
Sure.
On page 243 in the actual book, it talks about... hang on, I'm just scoping through the page now. 1 second.
Yeah, no problem. I'll try and open
it says... the Imam said, "It is women, son, beautiful women, the likes no one has ever seen." I said, "And the everlasting boys." The Imam replied, "Are they for sex?" And then I asked, "Are they for women?" The Imam said, "They are for men and women." So it's telling us about paradise here, but then on page 248,
yes,
it's saying that...
oh, sorry, Lee. Go on.
Yeah, carry on.
Yeah, it's saying on page 248 that it's going to make paradise on earth. So really, it's going to happen on earth. Is that true?
Yeah, look, there's paradise on earth, but then there's also this paradise that is not seen. It is, and also the Imam said in the book too, he said, because what did the Imam say in the book? He said that, and Abu Sadiq mentioned it. He said, well, Father, it sounds like the way that you're describing paradise is scary. It sounds like you're...
like forgetting things, and we just can't look at what's being described about paradise within the context of this world, basically. Like, it's very, like, we can't possibly understand it because, this world has got so much darkness in it that we can't see the reality. And the things that are in paradise, they are for the people of paradise. They're not for the people who are in this world, in this dimension that we're in. So it's something that would would seem, you know, even Aba Sadiq in the book, like you said, he said that paradise sounds like a scary place, and not a nice place in a way. But this is because, you know, it's for the people of paradise, right? It's something that's set up to be a paradise for them in that particular dimension.
Yes, and the Imam also said, he said, son, do not compare this world to that world. He said it's completely different. So when it mentions, for example, women and boys, the women and boys, they are not necessarily and actually, no, they're not like the women and boys here. It is not like that at all. So God uses words and terminology to describe something for the people to have an idea and to understand something. But paradise and how it looks like, it is far beyond what can really be described. But certain words and certain descriptions have been used to give people the idea. But if we're talking about boys like, underage boys like in this world, no, we're not talking about that. The Goal of the Wise is not talking about that. It is something else, basically.
Okay, so it's just different dimensions and like two different sets of paradigms, really, like
yes,
one
exactly.
on earth and one.
So, like a boy, for example, like even in the Arabic, sometimes a man cannot be considered a man until he's at the age of 40. So I mean, then what? Imagine boys. Sometimes maybe a boy for them is like someone 20 years and up. Before they reach their 30s. So it's not like what people would imagine, especially I suppose in Western culture, that a boy is somebody at the age of 5. This is not what we're talking about.
Now I understand what you mean in like words as well. It can be like told for differently for different dimensions. So I do understand that, but where it just got me was because when I read on 248, page 248, it says that basically God has put a covering over our eyes. So then the Mahdi then goes on to explain, it's like it will lift the cover to see, and he will bring that paradise to earth before death. Yes. So in context, I thought it was on the same level. Do you know what I mean? It's the same paradigm.
It's like, you know how frequencies work, right? Like when you dial the radio, it picks up different frequencies and you're able to hear sound.
Yeah,
it's like that's paradise, so you're on Earth and you're vibrating at a certain length, right? And you're seeing and you're experiencing life at this wavelength. However, once the human being finally has this veil lifted, which most people cannot do, most people, they struggle to do it. But in this time, the spiritual elevation of the human being reaches to that such extent that paradise finally manifests, and it is a true paradise on earth. But yeah, it's not something describable until you yourself can see it. That's why it said, you won't know paradise until you see it, or, you'll leave this, you'll see paradise before you leave this world, because you would have been able to access that frequency in order to see it, basically.
So basically in the defined state, the people who's accepted into that defined state will be on that frequency.
I mean, I suppose so, but I guess we won't know until that day comes. But yes, there will be a paradise on earth, but for sure.
But also, I just want to make this distinction. There's a paradise on earth, and there's a paradise in the There's a paradise in this life basically, and there's a paradise that's after death, like after the final judgment day. So the people, they go through a set amount of incarnations, then they go to a final judgment day, and then they end up in either heaven or hell for eternity. And the heaven which is being described in the Goal of the Wise, that is the heaven which is after the final judgment day. So yes, we will be in a frequency of paradise on this earth, by following the Imam of the time, by submitting to him, by being in the divine just state when the darkness has gone from the world, after all of these tribulations have passed. But at the same time, the what is being described specifically here is, the one after the judgment day.
Okay, yeah, because it says in the Goal of the Wise as well, in the new defined just state, that people can only experience death if they were killed, because people have immortal life. So is that what you're on about? That for those people, would they still go to paradise then?
Yeah, so that's the thing, and I think that's where Alex kind of made the distinction that yes, there's a paradise on earth, but in paradise there's nothing negative. So in this world, for sure, people would be able to only die if they were killed, or if they died in some sort of accident. So yeah, for sure, it would not be the paradise that is described as Sister Alex was talking about. You know, that paradise that there is no death and that there is no such a thing as having to pass away. So yeah, I hope that makes sense for you.
Yes, made it well sense. I was thinking as much as well as the two paradises, because I was kind of getting confused about it, to be honest. So that's why I just rang in to ask. Yeah,
and there's many different there's many different layers of paradise as well. You know, like just as you have the 7 layers of hellfire, you also have layers of paradise. And this is something I suppose, and I hope that one day Abul Sadiq can talk about in details, because a lot of people are interested about what does paradise look like, how does it work, and the same thing also with hellfire. And you know, there's I mean, you are reading the Goal of the Wise anyway. You are right now reading into that chapter about heaven and hell, and I adjure you to continue forward. And yeah, there's also a video called The Actual Location of Heaven and Hell. So yeah, you should go and check that out. I think you'll learn a lot from it.
On YouTube?
Yes, on YouTube. On the channel, the Mahdi Has Appeared YouTube channel.
Yeah, I'll check it out. I've just got one more question before I go.
Yeah, sure.
You know, like you were saying about the different dimensions. So, like, humans can only see 1% of the light spectrum. And at the moment, there's a lot of talk in this U.S. Congress, you know, about UFOs and UAPs and stuff. So, I basically watched the interview on it. I think it was the other day. They did an interview with one of the guys, and he was saying almost like the same thing, like there's different dimensions, like what we can't even comprehend at this moment of time. So the stuff what they've found, has the Mahdi cleared anything up? Is it true or false? Or has he said anything on the matter? Like what's going on at the moment?
Yes, I mean, is it true that we're able to only see a few things under the light spectrum that we? I mean, yeah, for certain that is the truth. And regarding the statement about the U.S. government or all these things that I've never heard anything about it. I mean, I'm hearing it for the first time, but that is indeed interesting statements that you're making. And for sure, yes, there are different dimensions that people are totally unaware of, different realities that they cannot see, that only a few people that have unveiled themselves, unveiled the veils from their eyes are able to see. And sometimes a human being gets, I suppose you could say, a peek into that reality. Sometimes it happens. But yeah, that's all I have to say regarding that.
Okay, yeah, well, it's on YouTube. I can't remember the guy's name, but lately they have been doing a lot of opening talks about it. But because I find it interesting, because what you said there, only a few people can peep into it. It's more out of body experience. I could imagine, because I've had that myself, and like, I'm not going to go into detail what I've seen, and like, I did see myself lying on the bed, and I've had ones where I've just went to next places, but I didn't need any drugs, but it was just normal experience, just through meditation, breath work, and just fasting and stuff. But yeah, I just find it all interesting, because still to this day, ever since I had that experience, it lasted for about 3 months, where I was just having dreams that just kept coming true.
Wow.
And so as soon as I came out of that state of frequency, you know, like off meditation, 432 hertz, clean eating, like just a lot of stuff. Once I came out of that band, I just lost it, you know what I mean? I just lost it. So yeah, it was... I mean, that's why I'm just interested in all this stuff. Yeah.
I mean, it's really interesting. You know, we can have true dreams. We can have prophetic dreams as human beings, and you can tap into that. And some people are more able to kind of see aspects from other dimensions than others. And some people have more like natural levels of DMT in their bodies, which kind of enables people to see these other things, or have these certain more dreams. So yeah, it's a very interesting topic, and yeah, thank you for sharing that, Lee.
Yeah, because I just thought it was the neurons in your brain. Like you perceive things. But I did notice, like I said, once I came off that clean eating, like meditation and fasting and stuff, I just lost it. Yeah, it just went so I think there's a lot more to it. So when I'm hearing conversations, the US Congress dropping all this information about interdimensional, they've got stuff like what they can't really reveal to humans yet. And then, so there's a lot of things going on, and I just find it interesting, to be fair. So that's why I was just asking, so has the Mahdi did any videos about this, or do you know?
He's discussed, various of these topics in videos. He hasn't made a video specifically on the topic that you're asking about, but, he's given us bits and pieces of information. I advise you to just go to the Mahdi Has Appeared channel and watch through them. He's made videos about extraterrestrials and UFOs and what they really are. The nature of reality, basically, the fact that we are living in a matrix. And he's made videos about the planets and, all of these other topics. So, yeah, I would just advise you to go through and, watch through them on the Mahdi Has Appeared.
Yeah, I've watched a few, but not all, because there's loads.
Yeah,
there's
a lot now.
You just don't get enough time in the day, just doing stuff and that. But, yeah, I'll definitely I'll check them out.
God bless you, Lee. Yeah, check them out and, continue your research and, continue reading The Goal of the Wise. You will find a lot of more interesting things as you go along, inshallah.
Yeah, I will do. Thanks for having me up today again.
No, thank you for coming.
Yeah, thanks for coming, Lee.
Okay, take care of yourself.
You too, Lee. God bless you, man. Sit down.
Yeah, so yes, interesting topic, really. Humanity, basically, we don't have the ability to see the complete reality that we are existing in, and we are living in an illusion, basically, and we can become way too focused on it.
Yeah, no, for sure, and for Abu Sadiq especially to come out with all of these videos and statements that talk about heaven and hell and different dimensions. It is fascinating, and the one who made sense out of it, there's this concept that they find that you find in Hermeticism in this book called the Kabbalion, right? This idea, this philosophical idea, as above, so below, right? So within, so without. This concept is basically how there's higher worlds, there's lower worlds, there is, there's a ground, there's a sky, there is, opposites, you could almost say, right? And we see that especially in this universe. You have the physical realm, you have the non-physical realm. Now I'm kind of leaning back towards the Star of David, because what is the Star of David? The Star of David is basically an ascending triangle on one side, right? So you have the ascending triangle, but you also have the descending triangle on the other hand. And the two together, the ascending and the descending triangle, form the Star of David. So you have one that's going above, one that's going below. And why is that fascinating? I find that fascinating because, as Abu Sadiq had stated also, that the star is the map to this universe, whether it's physical and both the physical and non-physical realms. So everything is here. Paradise, heaven, hell, you name it. All of that is here in this star, you could say, in the star-shaped universe, this universe which actually is the star of, in the shape of the Star of David. So, I find that the people going against this call, if you have to go against the Star of David, you have to go against all the other prophets and messengers that have used it. And, to be fair, honestly, just as I was stating earlier, the Muslims, they have in their history the Star of David. In the Turkish museums, in which they say that there lies within it the box of the daughter of the Prophet Fatima Zahra, peace be upon her, and upon her is peace, and from her is peace. She has embedded on the side of her box the symbol of the Star of David. And the Turks, they use this so often to the point that even when they would go up into Europe, and this is, I'm kind of referring back to my grandfather's house in in Europe, where embedded on the side of his home, because, you know, people used to have like these symbols in their houses and stuff, or they would etch them in, you know, and carve them in. Carved on it was the Ottoman Star of David, or the Ottoman Seal of Solomon was etched in the house of my grandfather. So it is an Islamic symbol more so than it is a Jewish symbol. And actually, people are discussing and theorizing that perhaps when the Jews studied the Kabbalah, they actually got influenced by Islamic mysticism and magical works, that they found the Star of David from these works that predate, modern day Jewish writing, and that actually the Star of David really got inspired from the Jews, from the Muslims actually. So, you know, the Muslims, they actually have a beautiful history of some of these amazing symbols and teachings, but unfortunately, they don't actually investigate their own history.
And they've been made to feel scared of them, you know, also by following these non-working scholars who just make everything, you know, seem terrifying to the people and, satanic, and they just say, you know, don't look into this. But, you know, if we believe in Prophet David, you know, if we believe in all of the other prophets and messengers, then for sure, you know, we have to accept the Star of David. Sorry, it was the symbol that came with the previous prophets and messengers. You know, it is the inheritance of the prophets and messengers. And if we're going to, you know, refuse to accept that, then we have to at least be honest with ourselves and say, you know, we don't believe in the previous prophets and messengers, because, it is clearly part of the religion.
It is clearly part of the religion, but
and I was just going to say, you know, it's just one of those things as well. It's like certain people like use certain things. Okay, like, so if we have people who are not part of the true religion but they're using the symbol, does that make it bad? It's like if we have people like ISIS, do we associate the whole of Islam with ISIS? You know, it's like we have to kind of use our common sense in situations like this.
Yeah, I mean, the people, they tend to, just because of a certain figure or a certain group or a certain organization has a certain symbol, does not mean that the symbol is evil. Perhaps, okay, maybe the organization or the person is evil, but it does not mean that the symbol is evil. Imagine, imagine people are, you know, going out there and maybe the symbol of that person is a pencil, but like that person's evil. Like what? Like now is writing evil? Is writing with a pen or pencil now evil? Like, what are we supposed to do now? So, we have to be aware of the things that we come across because, you know, I mean, as human beings, yes, we are prone to be scared. We are prone to have this intuition of suspicion and fight or flight kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
But the courage to drop all that which you were taught in order to investigate and scrutinize and basically have that window of, I would say, doubt for the people teaching you what religion is a great step in the right direction, because once a person doubts that, hey, is this really a bad symbol? Now it pushes you to research and to investigate now the matter that you're doubting about. So I think that if anybody should doubt anything, it should be that they doubt that which they're being shown. You know, don't doubt God. I'm not saying doubt God. You know, I'm not saying doubt Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, and his family. But I encourage you to doubt those who are teaching you about them and teaching you about what is halal and haram, and doubting those who are discouraging you from even having a symbol like a simple Star of David as a symbol for Islam, when it is prominent in Islamic society, especially ancient Islamic society, where this symbol was seen almost everywhere in day-to-day life, not just in Israel. And even back in the day, in the times of the prophets and messengers, people are uncovering artifacts of the Star of David from, you know, the times of the prophets. You'll find that the Star of David also exists in India, subhanAllah, you know, so...
Yeah. And it's such a universal symbol because it is a universal, like it is the symbol of the universe, you know. So for sure, you know, we have to think twice before rejecting this. And, you know, the narrations state that the Qaim, when he comes, he's restoring the religion that the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, and his family came with. So he's bringing those these truths back that were lost from the religion over time. Over time when the religion of Islam became corrupted, we have lost things like this. So yeah, it's a really, really interesting topic, because it's something that's just been it's like such a big misconception basically about this religion. But if someone just digs like even a bit or reads like even a small amount, they'll see like what a misconception it is.
Yeah, and there's a lot of other symbols that we for sure need to go over in the coming episodes, whether it's about the hijab, which many people have commented and have asked, hey, why doesn't Alex wear a hijab? And one of the most favorite and most popular topics when it comes to symbols that people see and have perceived as holy or perfect is the symbol of the Quran itself, this beautiful book which God had sent down to Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, and his family, and what we have to say about it and what we have to say regarding its authenticity and its reality. So there's a lot of things to one day like catch up over, but obviously over a period of time.
Yeah.
And we cannot go over all these things in one episode.
For sure, we can keep tackling these topics, basically these misconceptions that people have about the religions today, and not just in Islam, in Christianity and all of the other religions, because they have become corrupted over time, and these truths have been lost from the religion.
Yeah, no, they have been lost, and Abu Sadiq is the one who's bringing them back now.
Exactly, yeah. Okay, I think that's all we've got time for today, but we'll be back again tomorrow. Thank you so much.
Assalamu alaikum.